Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Who will be the next victim? Watch your back or it may be you. Rob Drew reporting for Infowars.com and Infowars Nightly News.
Leading.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It's Tuesday, June 20th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news tonight.
Tonight, anarchists and Antifa activists continue to engage in sporadic street battles across the country, and they are targeting Trump supporters. Meanwhile, 27-year-old Tony Foreman is now recovering in a hospital after he was stabbed 9 times by a gang of Armenians who got triggered by his pro-Trump bumper stickers. Then, another terror strike in Brussels as a man wearing explosives is neutralized at the train station. Plus, President Donald Trump sends a message to China. Thanks for trying to help out with North Korea, but now it's our turn. All that plus much more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfowarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from Infowars Life.
Check out these amazing deals at InfowarsStore.com. 25% off BioTrue Selenium, a powerful antioxidant and back in stock Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste. Now 33% off. And while you're there, check out the Total Oral Care Pack, which combines our organic mouthwash with the amazing Super Blue toothpaste. Now 37% off. All available right now at InfowarsStore.com.
More terror in Brussels today as a train station is under attack again. Now, you can see a stark difference in the way this was reported compared to the attack on the mosque yesterday, but we'll get to that in a second. First, let's just get to some of the details today involved in this train attack. It's just now officially being considered a terror attack, or I don't even know actually technically if that's official yet. ABC News just updated their story. Explosion at Brussels train station considered terrorist attack, Belgian federal prosecutor. Now, there have been no official statements, no press conferences, no other statements from any officials out of Belgium or police officers or anything that I have seen that have said that this was a terror attack. However, we know how they report these. They want to be tolerant. They don't want to immediately call it a terror attack, which is now basically just completely affiliated with radical Islamic terror, the religion of peace. But now a Belgian federal prosecutor comes out and says that this is a terrorist attack. And based on what we know so far, I think it's safe to say that this once again is radical Islamic jihadis striking again in Belgium. We remember what happened just over a year ago, March of last year, when the Religion of Peace struck in Belgium, blowing up a bomb at an airport, killing multiple people. Infowars was actually on the ground reporting that. But basically what we know so far, what I've read, there have been no deaths. I haven't even read that the person that is the suspect that was shot and apprehended, apparently he's still alive. And what I've heard is that he rushes into the train station. He may or may not have had an explosive vest on. Again, all of these details are kind of still up in the air. The questions that reporters are asking to the police and the officials in Belgium, they're not really getting many answers. But as you can see, the scenes, there's the scene today, which is a whole nother story in and of itself. After these terror attacks, cities have to be shut down. And it's getting to such a crazed point now where even if there's an event that isn't an attack or isn't a terror event or isn't a dangerous event at all, perhaps just a firework goes off or a car backfires or something, people freak out and all of a sudden there's panic. So that's another story to talk about here when dealing with this terrorism that is becoming rampant in Europe. But apparently this guy runs in the train station, may or may not have had a bomb vest on, and multiple eyewitnesses report seeing at least one fire, possibly two, hearing multiple explosions going while there were gunshots. The gunshots are assumed to be those of the police officers that apprehended the suspect and took him down. So the real goal of this attack, the real details, I still think we will have to wait and find out. But of course, they had to wait to say terrorist attack. They didn't want to come out and say terrorist attack because, well, terrorist attacks have become synonymous with radical Islamic jihadism just because they happen so often now. Those are the terrorists. So one terrorist, if it truly is one radical Islamic jihadi, again, this is just part and parcel to being a radical Islamic terrorist trying to blow up a train station or a airport. That's part and parcel to being a radical Islamic terrorist, kind of like Mayor Khan says it's part and parcel to living in a big city to get run over with a car or to be a victim of a terrorist attack. It's funny, I didn't hear Mayor Khan say that after the man ran over people at the Finsbury Mosque. Don't remember Mayor Khan saying, sorry, Muslims, that's just part and parcel to living in London. Sorry, Muslims, if you want to go to the mosque in London, you might be victims of terror. It's just part and parcel living in London, Stan, now that I'm the mayor. So again, the details on this are very hazy, but the pattern goes along with what we've seen from radical Islamic jihadis that have invaded Europe and have destroyed Europe. And in fact, again, in Brussels, the Infowars news crew was out in Brussels going into no-go zones. There's no-go zones in Brussels. There's no-go zones in France. There's no-go zones in England. I mean, what is that? What is a no-go zone? That's like, you had reports where you had people, veterans in the military. Yes, there's Paul Joseph Watson in Belgium no-go zones. These people in the military, special forces, what have you, are over in Iraq or over in Iran, and they tell you, if you walk out on the street alone as an American, you know, good luck if you're even able to walk the next day, if you're even breathing. That's what it's like in these no-go zones now. That's an invasion. Why would you want that in your country? Why would you want to bring people into your country that are just going to claim territory and then not let you in? Imagine you took in an orphan and the orphan just decided that they were going to take over half of your household, and anytime you went in there, they were threatening violence against you. Would you just be okay with that? Oh, that's okay. Let's just be tolerant of that little orphan, which you're providing for, just like these refugees are getting provided for. Or would you say, no, this doesn't work, this orphan is gone, or perhaps we need some discipline here? But regardless, the city of Brussels, just like the city of London, just like Paris, just nonstop, in Sweden, it's nonstop, living in fear because of radical Islamic terrorism, because of open border policies, because of liberal government leaders, because of the EU. The dream of Hitler, folks. The dream of Hitler is the EU. and now they've brought on the EU, forced the clash of civilization, forced multiculturalism, and destroyed their own country. It's so bad in Sweden now. Last remaining police station in migrant-dominated Swedish suburbs forced to close. So you've got stories coming out of Sweden that you wouldn't believe. You've got multiple stories of migrants and asylum seekers brutally raping and murdering young girls, some of which are government officials that are liberals. I wonder if that changed their mind. You've got schools, this is in Sweden again, where they bring in all of these migrants and they put them into these schools, great schools, upstanding, buildings fine, no reason to be threatened when you go there. A couple years go by, now the schools are shut down, now the schools are boarded up, now the schools have fencing around them with barbed wire. Some of them are no-go zones, graffiti everywhere. That's your clash of civilizations. That's multiculturalism. That's what they want. And I heard it today on the Alex Jones Show, and it's something that really I thought about. The suicide gene. Is there really a suicide gene? Is there really some sort of suicidal psychological disorder that liberals have? Because we've always said liberalism is a mental disorder. I look at liberal policies like open borders, the clash of civilizations, while just coexisting. That to me is suicidal. That to me is a policy of the left that the only means to an end is death. Just like all their other policies. If you look at all the leftist policies, the only means to the end is always death. It's always you dying, like global warming. It's the same deal. Or vaccines. It's always the same deal. The death rate, the cancer rate, it all just goes up with their policies. Eventually, you're all going to die. But that's what they want. See, you're a bad human. You're killing the planet. You're a racist. You're an Islamophobe. You're a bigot. You must die. But see, that's the thought process. That's the suicidal gene. People on the left don't want to admit to their own shortcomings. They don't want to admit their own problems in life, the things that they should be responsible for. So instead, they point the fingers at everybody else, and they want to bring everybody down just like them to be a miserable sad sack. Not going to happen. Not going to let the United States get conquered by a bunch of, whether it's Muslims or pirates coming from Somalia, I don't care, okay? We're not bringing in a bunch of third world people because a bunch of liberals have quote-unquote bleeding hearts, when really the Democrats just want to turn all of these red states and red districts blue, which, by the way, we do have the election, the special election going on in Georgia right now. The Democrats are desperate for a victory, and I mean desperate. And we're going to be tracking this actually in live time. But right now, actually, Handel was up originally, but now John Ossoff is actually ahead. This is actually scary, folks. I know it's early, but Handel was supposed to take a major lead early. And instead, it's Ossoff. So I don't like to see that. But we'll keep you posted on that. Obviously, it's still way early and too close to call by any stretch of the imagination. But let's go back to the terror attack. Now, this is a story I covered last night. Here's a story from Paul Joseph Watson. Right-wing terror attack exposes rampant left-wing hypocrisy. Boom. So yesterday, this man allegedly drives a van onto the scene of a mosque as some Muslims were leaving an evening prayer service. And again, the whole story from last night is weird to me too. Again, details on that were still sketchy. I've never heard of a story where a crazed man in a van who's trying to mow people down and kill them gets out and then is basically just lingering around with the people. And apparently they're so peaceful, they're not even torturing him or touching him or trying to beat him up or anything. They're just going to hand him over to police. And then police get on the scene, and then he acts like a crazy person and is like waving at them and laughing at them. So that whole thing is nuts to begin with. But while we obviously dislike that violence as well, and we want to know what happened there, look at the way the media reported on it. Immediately, it was a white supremacist. Immediately, it was an Islamophobe. Immediately, it was Nigel Farage's fault. Immediately, it was all the conservatives' fault. Immediately, they reported that before knowing anything. But here today, guy gets up, runs into a trade station, explosions happen, has to get shot and apprehended, and don't you dare even think to call that radical Islamic terrorism until hours, half a day later, when finally ABC says Belgian federal prosecutor says it's terrorist. So they will wait and they will wait and they will wait to be tolerant. They don't want to report the wrong thing unless it's against a white person. Then it's okay. See, it's okay to report fake news. See, this is perfect, folks. This just shows you it's literally a Rosetta Stone. You can report fake news all day long about a white person, all day long about Donald Trump. You can report that the white supremacist is a bigot running over Muslims and Islamophobe in the mosque attack. So that's fine. Do that all day long. But as soon as you call a radical Islamic terrorist, you're a bigot. Don't jump to conclusions. Imagine this. A friend of mine floated this idea to me today. Imagine if Seth Rich was a black male. Do you think the media would be covering it differently? Do you think that it would be getting more attention? I don't know. The prosecuting attorney down in Florida was a black man. That didn't seem to get much of attention. So maybe it wouldn't have gotten much more attention. But it's just very strange. Again, the coverage of the terror attack at the mosque and the coverage of the terror attack in Belgium today really does illustrate the rampant left-wing hypocrisy that Paul Joseph Watson reported on yesterday. So Paul Joseph Watson way ahead of the curve on that deal. Now, who's instigating all of this stuff? Who wants the open borders? Who is funding these politicians that push these policies? George Soros. Now, it's come out, this is an exclusive from Daily Caller, Soros-Clinton linked Teneo among donors to McCain Institute. Well, we should have known. We should have known that John McCain had been getting money from Soros affiliates. We should have known that, of course, the Clinton Global Initiative is working with John McCain to back him and his institutions. We should have known. We should have known. And we'll get more into this. In fact, let's just go into this now. We should have known that yesterday, when the United States shut down the Syrian aircraft that now might lead us into World War III, we'll cover that. We should have known that when Washington told Syria, well, that jet bombed our backed forces, we should have known when Syria said, yeah, we were bombing ISIS, that those were McCain's goons. It's John McCain that has visited the moderate rebels in Syria twice secretly, including one time this year, I believe, not too long ago. In fact, that's right. Twice. This is just ridiculous. See, you report these bombshells and they're so massive and then it's just like they never even pick up steam. John McCain goes to Syria secretly, and I think it was 2012, and then months later there's a chemical gas attack. John McCain goes to Syria in 2017, and then months later there's a chemical gas attack. John McCain is the only one apparently that has access to these moderate rebels that were arming and funding on the ground in Syria that are supposedly fighting the Assad regime for good because the Assad regime is bad, even though he gets to walk around with his own people without bodyguards and they don't stab him and murder him. I wonder if Obama could do that, or Trump even for that matter. But they say, we were bombing ISIS. United States says, well, those were our backed forces you were bombing. It's the same people. It's John McCain's goons. It's Hillary Clinton's ISIS goons. And now we have the funding. They're all tied together. This is literally bombshell. Every news organization should be reporting this. George Soros, John McCain, Hillary Clinton, these are the villains. These are the people that need to be locked up.
We've taken thousands of years of known research and put it together with our own 4 years of seeking and testing to find the very best systems that God gave us through Mother Nature to detoxify the body.
That's why I'm introducing Z-Shield, toxic metal and chemical defense support. It's made in the USA. It's filled with known compounds from nature that are absolutely associated with detoxifying the body, and it supports the InfoWar. It is a classical 360 win. Our formula at InfoWarsLife.com is, quite frankly, simple. We go out and look at the recognized research, and we take it to the next level of quality, of purity, and of strength. Because this is what I personally use for myself and my family. We've gone through 5 or 6 different permutations in the last 4 years since we launched Infowars Life to actually come up with this. This is the formula that I personally have been taking for over a year, and now we believe we have come as close to perfection when it comes to a detoxifier as you can possibly get. If you're not mitigating the pesticides, the heavy metals, the chemicals, if you're not trying to purify your water, if you're not trying to take products like Z-Shield that are full of known concentrated compounds that help purify our cells and our bodies, you're crazy. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to the future of this country and the world that patriots stay as healthy and as clean and as focused as you can be, because we need you, the remnant of America, to reignite those brush fires to the next level and to be healthy and as focused as you can be. Because if you're sick, if you're over there on the sidelines and not in the fight, you're basically giving in to the New World Order. Thanks to your support and your prayers, together, we're changing the world. Now it's time to change our bodies with Z-Shield at InfoWarsLife.com.
I want to tell you about some of the products at InfoWarsStore.com. We are under constant attack. You know it by now from the mainstream media. They're trying to attack us on every level. Now with the YouTube scandal, they're demonetizing our channels, which again takes a huge chunk out of our income, which is why we always appreciate and rely on you getting the products, because that's how we stay afloat. They can't get to us that way. They can't pressure you to not buy the products. They don't have that power. And that's why you're the key to this entire operation. We have Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, bubblegum flavor, just arrived at InfoWarsStore.com. This is by listener request. Bubblegum flavored Super Blue toothpaste now available at InfoWarsStore.com in limited supply. Again, if you're not using fluoride-free toothpaste by now, you're absolutely insane. Harvard studies, it reduces IQ, it causes bone cancer. It's not great, let's just put it that way. And I've been using it for about, what, 15 years now? So you're going to buy it anyway. Why not buy it from us? It's in limited supply, but it is available at InfoWarsStore.com with the new bubblegum flavor. Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, and it supports this network, which is under constant demonization and attack, because we don't take big fat checks from George Soros. We don't get put on extremist lists, even though they want us to. That's how they're taking away the YouTube money. That's why we need your support more than ever, because we're not funded by giant corporations who are now pulling the plug on YouTube as they move it into a TV thing, a Netflix model, to drown out independent voices. So support us by getting the products at InfoWarsStore.com.
Well, no matter what you think is going on with all of this violence, all this terrorism, all this extremism now, we've had 3 events, Paris, London, and Brussels now, where you basically have a state of emergency because of violence. And this is all because of the clash of civilizations. And it's only going to get worse if the New World Order is able to trick us into World War III, which they're trying to do to Donald Trump right now. I think that has a lot to do with the Russian collusion narrative against him. And yesterday, you had the U.S. fighter jet shooting down the Syrian airplane. Today, U.S. fighter jet shoots down Iranian-made Syrian drone after it came within firing distance of American troops. So more tension, more escalation. And then Michael Snyder, writing for Infowars.com, war with Russia. The Russians announced any U.S. warplanes flying over Syria will be treated as targets. Okay, so where's the Russian collusion? Here's Reuters. Russia warns U.S. not to hit Syrian government troops. Sounds like collusion to me. That sounds like Russia colluding with the United States. Russia must be colluding with Trump. Boy, Russia and Trump are so tight that Trump, or the American army, is taking out Syrian aircraft. Russia is responding, threatening the United States, and Trump is the president of the United States. Sounds like a lot of Russian collusion going on there. And then today, armed Russian jet comes within 5 feet of U.S. recon jet, and this is just being reported as the heightened tensions between the two nations occurs, even though there's a collusion investigating being going on, as if Russia has control over our elections and control over the destiny of our country. And now the United States is signaling involvement in Syria could escalate. Yeah, of course they are. They've been signaling that for a while, and Infowars.com was out ahead of that one as usual. So hopefully Trump will not be tricked into an escalation in Syria. We have no business in Syria. I say just pull. Honestly, I would just pull. I would probably just pull all the troops out of the Middle East, period. But obviously getting involved in Syria is not in our best interest. Here's what is in our best interest. Having an investigation into Obama, Susan Rice, Loretta Lynch, and Hillary Clinton. Okay, there's the collusion, folks. There's the swamp. There's the criminals. Judicial Watch. Susan Rice unmasking documents moved from the NSC to the Obama Library. You want to talk about collusion, folks, and obstruction of justice? You want to talk about collusion and obstruction of justice? You've got more collusion and obstruction of justice in this story with Susan Rice, her illegal unmasking documents, going from the National Security Council to the Obama Library. And then the Obama Library says, well, sorry, we can't unseal these documents for at least 5 years. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. Collusion, obstruction of justice, boom, right there. It goes on. Judicial Watch is not only seeking those documents that show the illegal unmasking by Susan Rice, they're seeking the documents that were unlawfully removed by Comey. Literally, Comey is obstructing justice. Susan Rice is obstructing justice. The Obama Library is obstructing justice. And they're all colluding right in front of our faces. And we're doing a witch hunt, fake investigation into Trump and Russia. All of America should be fired up about this. But it just gets worse. Let's not forget. Comey admitted that Lynch meeting Bill Clinton on the tarmac was something that was tainting. That was something worth investigating. That was something worth looking into. You know what else is worth looking into? You know what else needs to be investigated? Have some people speak under oath? Comey says Attorney General Loretta Lynch wanted Clinton investigation to be called a matter. So there you go, folks. You literally have James Comey, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Susan Rice, Loretta Lynch, all of them colluding, all of them obstructing justice. And this isn't even, you're not even talking about Barack Obama's illegal spy grid right now and all that. You're just looking at these folks and their collusion. So what do? They point the finger at everyone else for their own deeds. Here's Joe Biggs breaking down that aspect of the story.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Joe Biggs with Infowars.com. And what's one thing we can all agree that we're sick and tired of hearing about? The Russia story. The fact that it's complete and total BS. It's been shut down at every single angle. At every corner we go to, it's boom, dead end. And yet, the liberal left still finds ways to bring this stupid story back up. But what they don't tell you about is some of their past. This headline right here from Daily Mail in 2011, on November 1st, did Russian spy get close to infiltrating Hillary Clinton's inner circle? FBI warns of a new breed of Moscow agents. Anna Chapman wasn't just a member of one of the largest rings of Russian sleeper agents ever rolled up by the FBI. The 29-year-old former real estate agent who became a lingerie model and corporate spokeswoman back in Moscow represented a new breed of Russian spies adapted to the post-Cold War world. While the deep cover agents didn't steal any secrets, an FBI counterintelligence official told the AP that the spies were making progress to their ultimate goal. They were getting very close to penetrating U.S. policymaking circles through a friend of a cabinet official. FBI representatives did not name any of the names of the cabinet officials involved, but Russian spy Cynthia Murphy of Montclair, New Jersey, provided financial planning for venture capitalist Alan Patrikoff, a political fundraiser with close ties to Bill and Hillary Clinton. At the time that the case broke, Secretary of State Clinton's spokesman issued a statement as an attempt to distance Ms. Clinton from the spy ring. Why wouldn't they want to be around that? Also, here we go, flashback. FBI arrested Russian spy when she got too close to Clinton fundraiser. This was in 2016. The article came out in the wake of accusations that Russia tampered with the U.S. presidential elections. The Obama administration expelled 35 Russian diplomats from the U.S. Thursday, but the administration failed to act as harshly 4 years ago when a Russian spy got too close to Hillary Clinton. Why? Why is it okay for the Russians to get close to Hillary, but not close to Donald Trump? What's wrong? Because maybe he's not easily coerced and she is, and there's might be something that we could find there. ABC News Radio reported in 2012 that the FBI needed to arrest a Russian agent who was under surveillance, among others, by the agency in 2010 when the spy got too close to a sitting member of the cabinet. We were becoming very concerned they were getting close enough to a sitting U.S. cabinet member that we thought we could no longer allow this to continue. Department of Justice officials told ABC News one of the arrested Russian agents was, in fact, the same person, Cynthia Murphy, and a personal friend of her, Hillary Clinton. So here we have Hillary Clinton really close to Russian spies. We have this Russian narrative that the Russians hacked our elections and somehow changed the outcome in favor of Donald Trump. But we have more proof that says it wasn't the Russians, that it was, in fact, Seth Rich. And now we have an update on Seth Rich. Seth Rich is the DNC staff worker who, from what we believe and what we've seen in the evidence in the WikiLeaks and from Kim.com, was a source for the DNC leaks that came out just before the DNC last summer. Now here it is, Seth Rich update, or Russian spy update. DNC staff are murdered by serial killer, not in botched robbery, report claims. Hold on. Ooh. That's really big news. All right, guys, we have breaking news right now. Here, hey, bring it up right now. We have a picture of the serial killer. This is the first time anyone has ever seen the serial killer. That's right, it's Hillary Clinton. That's right, Hillary Clinton is, in fact, the serial killer. She was so butthurt about losing the election. She was so butthurt about all these leaks coming out. She was just such a horrible, corrupt human being that she's willing to go that extra step and kill innocent people. That's right, Hillary Clinton is a serial killer that we've all been looking for. Stay tuned for more reports at Infowars.com. I'm Joe Biggs.
Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. Infowars Live Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by Infowars Live is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're fighting the tip of the spear in the info war. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out. We have the new product at InfoWarsLife.com, BioTrue Selenium.
We've had so many requests over the years for selenium, and just recently, we were able to source a certified organic, bioavailable selenium from mustard seed extract. When you take selenium in the body, it actually benefits the detoxification systems in your body. It helps balance the thyroid gland. It helps detoxify.
Selenium is another one of those absolute must-haves.
The highest concentration of selenium is in the thyroid gland, but it's actually used all over the body. As a matter of fact, there's 25 genes in the body that are directly dependent upon selenium. So it really is a all-around nutrient that everybody really needs.
I'm taking it now every day. This is so key. BioTrue Selenium is the product, the best selenium that we could bring you. We believe it's the best out there at a very, very low price. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make, we fight the globals. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Why did the Democrats spend more money than any other special election, any other House election in history as they did on the special election that is ongoing right now in Georgia's 6th congressional district? The results coming in right now have Jon Ossoff up by just over 1,000 votes and 1%. Coming in early voting up by 2,000. And right now, Election Day votes going Karen Handel's way, but not in the amount that we thought would be going Handel's way early. Typically, the GOP voters get out early in this district. That's not the pattern that we've seen so far, unless it's going to lead to a loss for Handel, which we're all hoping is not the case. Simply because we will never hear about this Democrat victory. We will never hear the end of this Democrat victory, probably for the rest of 2017. Even though it would just be a small victory for the Democrats, they're 0 for 2017. That's 0 wins for the Democrats since Trump has been inaugurated. So they are desperate for this victory. That's why you had, I forget the numbers. It was either 9 times as many donors to Ossoff's campaign coming from California than in Georgia, or 9 more. I forget what the number was. Obviously a big disparity between the two. But regardless, all the money that was coming in record levels to Jon Ossoff wasn't even from the district. It's from desperate Democrats who just want to claim a victory. Now, one of them is Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is a real piece of work. And when I mean work, I mean trash. And when I mean trash, I mean human excrement. Schumer invokes delay tactic in retaliation to GOP healthcare bill. So basically, now this guy is just up there using all the delay tactics, invoking rules that say the Senate floor has to be shut down past 2 p.m. What the heck is that? Don't you wish you had that clause at your work? I'm going to invoke a rule that says we all have to be off at 2 p.m. Well, he invoked it. Nothing we can do here. Guess we got to go. See, this is Schumer's reaction to, I quote, as we've made clear to our Republican colleagues, if they continue to insist on ramming through a secret health care bill without any public input or debate, they shouldn't expect business as usual in the Senate. Except here's the catch, Chuck Schumer, dirty Chuck Schumer, piece of work, Chuck Schumer, wouldn't buy a salami sandwich off you if you were a deli man, Chuck Schumer. That's exactly how the Democrats passed Obamacare. See, and this is how ignorant people like Chuck Schumer think the American public are. This is why I cannot stand people like Chuck Schumer, because they are really the lowest form of vermin on the planet. Thinks you're so stupid that he's going to point to Republicans using the same tactic that the Democrats used to get Obamacare passed. Sickening. And honestly, it's not even the truth. Actually, the Republicans have been much more transparent with the Trump care bill than the Democrats were. But regardless, probably don't like either one of the bills. And Chuck Schumer is still the biggest fraud, phony hypocrite on the face of the earth with this story. Chuck Schumer, what a piece of trash, man. I mean, it honestly infuriates me that people that are that low, that scum, can actually be an official government. Unbelievable, man. Let's just get off Chuck Schumer. It makes me want to vomit, and my vomit would have more dignity than Chuck Schumer. Minneapolis sex offender sentenced to 36 years in federal prison for sex trafficking 3 minors and producing child pornography. So I've just been following on all the developments in Pedogate, and this is actually a story that I suppose that ICE has been working on for over a year now. But finally, they convicted this sicko to 36 years, to which I say, 36 years, bro? Sex trafficking 3 minors and child pornography? Lock that person up and throw away the key. 36 years, 36 lives. That's what it should be. Now, moving on to an old story that I love bringing up today. I had so many people send me this today because they were like, wow, Owen, you tried to red pill me about this years ago. Hidden trove of suspected Nazi artifacts found in Argentina. So they dig out all of this unbelievable trove of Nazi artifacts. And of course, I told my friends this because all I did was I went and I looked at the FBI's declassified documents. I looked at J. Edgar Hoover's unclassified stuff, and it said that Hitler was in South America. Thank you, Dr. Jones.
I'm just here to show folks that at 7:42 Central, we're live broadcasting worldwide. Other shows claim they're live. No, we're really live. God, I didn't know I didn't comb my hair before I came in here. I'm about to leave. The point is, I do this on purpose. I was just coming in here. Sorry. The point is, you're going to finish your big story. We've got Stephen Colbert joining the show Thursday. That's right. As the character Tuck Buckford, they want to come on, just like Megyn Kelly came. This is a big deal. Letting folks know that promo's coming the next hour. He was just here. Go ahead.
Yeah, and actually the studio right now is kind of a mess because when Tuck Buckford goes on air, folks, you know he goes whole hog and doesn't mess around. So anyway, Alex, I'm just curious. Were you one of the Were you one of the conspiracy theorists that read J. Edgar Hoover's papers trying to tell people that Hitler escaped to South America?
That's what the FBI files said.
But
it's not like we talk about that article, dried lizard penises. Yeah. That was ABC News today. They'll say we made up dried lizard penises.
Do you like Alex with that tomahawk? That's a nice shot of Alex with that tomahawk. You be careful with that now. That's not a Nazi artifact, by the way, that was uncovered in Argentina today. But I found it hilarious because when I first started looking into this stuff and I saw the FBI documents declassified, J. Edgar Hoover's papers, saying that Hitler was in Argentina, FBI teams went to find him.
Tim Kennedy hunting Hitler.
Yeah, Tim Kennedy was out there hunting Hitler too. So, but now they find the artifacts and it's like, oh, I guess those conspiracy theorists were right. After all. Be careful with that thing. Be careful now. I don't want to let them know. Don't let them see that now. That might be too traumatizing for them. Don't let them see the aftermath of Tuck Buckford being here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Not a Nazi artifact, folks. Just the aftermath of Tuck Buckford being live in studio.
That was Hitler's body.
That was Hitler's body that they found in Argentina?
Yes.
Don't throw that thing, though. That might actually take the TV down.
I'm not going to.
You're on right now.
It's in the studio.
That was a Tuck Buckford prop, actually. Tuck Buckford is the kind of guy that likes to bring an axe to a brain fight, if you know what I mean.
They think I'm joking. Was Tuck Buckford here or not?
No. Look, I got another Tuck Buckford axe right here. We're not kidding. Tuck Buckford, is he gonna show himself later tonight? Is that we're gonna debut Tuck Buckford?
The promo's coming.
Folks, Tuck Buckford was live in studio today, so I know that Alex is really excited to get that promo out by the end of the afternoon, or by the end of the evening.
Prison shirt on, they cut it off on TV.
The Megyn Kelly deal?
Can you believe what a loser she is?
Well, we showed the YouTube, all of the NBC News videos get like 30 views, 100 views, and then the Alex Jones video gets over 100,000 views, somehow goes to number 14 trending on YouTube, even though your videos actually had more views.
Yeah, your videos had like 5 million, 3 million, 6 million, 8 million. Only a few of them got trending. Hers got 179,000 was trending.
Yeah, and somehow goes into the top 15 trending.
That's
so
force-feeding bullshit. Oh, sorry.
Alex, you've been working too long, man. That's okay. That is a family axe. That's the family axe that is used. Tuck Buckford uses to chop down Christmas trees. He does celebrate Christmas, by the way. Oh, and thank you, Alex. You brought me a caveman. Thank you for bringing me the caveman here.
It's been sold out. More's coming in.
More coming in? That's what I was wondering. I was wondering how you got me the caveman. We've been short around here. It's kind of like Nazi artifacts. They just get buried and then they never find out.
Broadcast teleprompter free while a guy with a hatchet runs around.
It's amazing. Do you think Megyn Kelly could do that?
No.
Do you think Megyn Kelly could do a live broadcast while a madman is running around with an axe?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Wearing a Trump Pence shirt. Look at that shirt. Hey, real quick though, let's go back and see what the current results are on the New York Times. Guys, can you pull that up for me on screen real quick? What do we have here before we go to break? John Ossoff still in the lead by just over 1,000 votes. Oh my gosh. I'm sure there's no illegals. I'm sure that George Soros electronic voting machines are square too. No reason to suspect this victory for the Democrats if it goes there. Still early. We'll be right back.
You're in the campaign, Hillary. Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities, and it's tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll free. We can answer your questions, 888-253-3139.
One of the plays that we see being used throughout history by the controllers to manipulate the masses is their interpretation of the Hegelian dialectic. Now, this is loosely translated as problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos, but this is an 18th century theory that basically says the human mind cannot understand anything unless it is split into opposites, and then the discussion that's in the middle would be the synthesis or the solution. But the problem that we're seeing today is that this theory is being exploited to manipulate the population. It's kind of the left-right divide and conquer, left versus right, black versus white, keeping all of us fighting amongst ourselves. So while we're divided, they are conquering us by providing us with their solution, their answer to our problems. And basically what we're going to see is that conflict can only be resolved by some global authority, some outside authority, rather than our own sovereignty, our innate sovereignty. So my guest today has actually just released a solo album based on the Hegelian dialectic. This is Prodigy. He's a multi-platinum recording artist and member of one of the most legendary names in hip-hop, Mobb Deep. Prodigy is an iconic voice in the genre. He's always been very outspoken in his lyrics about conspiracy theories, the Illuminati, secret societies. He's also released many critically acclaimed albums as well as books, including his latest, Commissary Kitchen, My Infamous Prison Cookbook. It's a book about food and nutrition in correctional facilities, and it was actually banned in the California correction system because it contained a recipe for alcohol. And when he isn't touring, Prodigy is traveling the United States, lecturing at venues like MIT about the prison system and offering insight on changing the quality of inmates' lives. So Prodigy, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, for real.
Now, you know, I gotta admit, I was kind of doing a little bit of research, kind of brushing up on the Hegelian dialectic last week, and after just kind of reading up on it, I see it everywhere. You're seeing it with all the protests. I mean, we are living in it, living, breathing this left-right divide right now at present. Obviously, you know, you're seeing this as you're writing your album. So how are you seeing this playing out presently?
Well, man, I mean, I've been working on this album for the past 3 years. It's a 3-album project. So the one that's out right now is just the first one. And then the next 2 will be coming out soon. Yeah, the whole time making the album, man, just seeing what was going on in the world, and then all the way up until what's happening right now, it's like the music for this album, man, just fits perfectly for what's happening right now. Like the name and the album and everything. I mean, that's why it always been fit perfect, but now, especially, you know, all the controversy that's going on right now in the world, and more than ever before, it's just like, it's a perfect fit for what's happening, you know what I mean? Even like on the album cover, like, you know what I'm saying? Just, the album cover is just dealing with me trying to be a spiritual, good person and do the right thing with myself in this world, and then also dealing with all the craziness with the politics and everything else we deal with these companies, big corporations, and the laws, judicial system, you know what I mean? Just everything, man, is built against, you know, minorities, you know what I mean? And it's like, now we're in a time where it's time to dismantle all of that. You know what I mean? It's time to dismantle that old way of life, man, and grow as humanity. You know what I mean? And grow as people, man, as human beings. You know what I mean? Men, women, everybody, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, we're seeing this resistance where you're seeing the masses kind of have been waking up now for a while. People are really activating, really mobilizing for their certain causes. But the thing that's really kind of disappointing to me is I appreciate seeing the masses kind of awakening, but they don't realize how they're being kind of useful idiots and being paid to protest certain things, or, you know, you're thinking, why are you only protesting Donald Trump? Why weren't you ever protesting all, you know, President Obama dropping all the bombs in the first place that created the refugee crisis? Why are you just protesting now? So we're sort of seeing people being mobilized and their energy and their awakening being manipulated there again with this Hegelian dialectic, because they're being manipulated to bring the outcome that kind of your globalist controllers would want to see happen. How do you want to talk to people and let them see how they're potentially being used?
Yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot on the album, on the part one of Hegelian dialectic, the Book of Revelation. There's a lot dealing with that, just telling people, man, like, you know, you gotta start, you know, graduate to the next school of thinking, man. Like, you know what I mean? We, like I was saying, we in a time for us as humans to evolve. Technology and the world is becoming smarter, kids are smarter. Like, it's time to evolve, man. And it's good to be out there and protest for you know, rights and things you're supposed to do, but, you know, there's a way to do it also, man. There's a way to do it in the times that we living in now, you know, legally, the legal process, and just doing things the right way. You know, the world is already changing, so it's just gonna happen. So all you gotta do is just follow the right process and live the right way, and don't feed into all of this craziness, man, because there's a lot of, you know, they promoting race war, they promoting religious war. They got us out here protesting, arguing for shit that's not even what we should be protesting, arguing for. Like, you know, you got to be real careful with that type of shit, man. That's not a joke. Now, look, a lot of protests and things from the past, of course, brought us to, it helped change things for Black people, for minorities, for the world. You know what I mean? A lot of the protests helped, you know, Martin Luther King and you know, Rosa Parks, just to name a few. You know, the ones that people really know. Those protests helped change things, helped, you know, change human rights, civil rights, you know what I mean? And it was a good thing, you know what I mean? But we living in a time right now, a super information age, and, you know, it's obvious that anybody could be successful and make a difference, you know what I mean? The right way, you know, without just being so ignorant about it. There's a lot of ignorance out there in the world. And I know that's what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of ignorant people out there to protest. They're doing a lot of crazy ignorance. They're protesting for a lot of the wrong things at the wrong time. They're going about it the wrong way. That's what I would say. You know
well, yeah,
I mean?
they're fighting fascism with fascism. They're being violent. They're setting things on fire, rioting, and they're doing this to stop free speech. I mean, I'm presently speaking about the riots taking place at UC Berkeley, where it's mind-blowing, because UC Berkeley was the place where they started the free speech movement, where you had college campuses, students fighting for the right to have different versions of political actions and talks and speakers be able to come on their campus, because up until then, free speech wasn't allowed on college campuses. You know, they did away with it, so they were fighting for that. And now we're seeing the exact opposite, where they're actually lighting things on fire to stop free speech on college campuses. What do you think about kind of what's going on there with the millennials?
I mean, anything that stops free speech is not good. like I can't get with that. You know what I mean? I need my freedom of speech. This is what I do for a living. My freedom of speech is my business. You know, that's how I conduct my business out here in this world. America, capitalism. You know what I'm saying? You can do anything you want in this world, man. You know what I mean? This is definitely a great, and this country right here, this country is the best country for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, this country is like a science experiment. It's like a test tube baby. You know what I mean? I got a song called Test Tube Babies. And that's what this America is. Like, they you know what I mean? It's a science experiment, test tube baby like it's a mutant. You know what I'm saying? We're mutants. You know? You're like the X-Men out here. So it's like it evolved into something that is not how it started. It started from foul, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of genocide, a lot of murder, you know, thieving of the Indian land. But we here now, and it happened. So what you gonna do about it?
Thanks for tuning in to the Infowars Nightly News. Be sure to support us at InfoWarsStore.com. You stay classy, Info Warriors.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality Infowars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It's Tuesday, June 20th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news tonight.
Tonight, anarchist and Antifa activists continue to engage in sporadic street battles across the country, and they are targeting Trump supporters. Meanwhile, 27-year-old Tony Foreman is now recovering in a hospital after he was stabbed 9 times by a gang of Armenians who got triggered by his pro-Trump bumper stickers. Then, another terror strike in Brussels as a man wearing explosives is neutralized at the train station. Plus, President Donald Trump sends a message to China. Thanks for trying to help out with North Korea, but now it's our turn. All that plus much more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from Infowars Life.
Check out these amazing deals at InfoWarsStore.com. 25% off BioTrue Selenium, a powerful antioxidant and back in stock Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste. Now 33% off. And while you're there, check out the Total Oral Care Pack, which combines our organic mouthwash with the amazing Super Blue toothpaste. Now 37% off. All available right now at InfoWarsStore.com.
More terror in Brussels today as a train station is under attack again. Now, you can see a stark difference in the way this was reported compared to the attack on the mosque yesterday, but we'll get to that in a second. First, let's just get to some of the details today involved in this train attack. It is now it's just now officially being considered a terror attack, or I don't even know actually technically if that's official yet. ABC News just updated their story. Explosion at Brussels train station considered terrorist attack, Belgian federal prosecutor. Now, there have been no official statements, no press conferences, no other statements from any officials out of Belgium or police officers or anything that I have seen that have said that this was a terror attack. However, we know how they report these. They want to be tolerant. They don't want to immediately call it a terror attack, which is now basically just completely affiliated with radical Islamic terror, the religion of peace. But now a Belgian federal prosecutor comes out and says that this is a terrorist attack. And based on what we know so far, I think it's safe to say that this once again is radical Islamic jihadis striking again in Belgium. We remember what happened just over a year ago, March of last year, when the religion of peace struck in Belgium, blowing up a bomb at an airport, killing multiple people. Infowars was actually on the ground reporting that. But basically what we know so far, what I've read, there have been no deaths. I haven't even read that the person that is the suspect that was shot and apprehended, apparently he's still alive. And what I've heard is that he rushes into the train station. He may or may not have had an explosive vest on. Again, all of these details are kind of still up in the air. The questions that reporters are asking to the police and the officials in Belgium, they're not really getting many answers. But as you can see, the scenes, there's the scene today, which is a whole nother story in and of itself. After these terror attacks, cities have to be shut down. And it's getting to such a crazed point now where even if there's an event that isn't an attack or isn't a terror event or isn't a dangerous event at all, perhaps just a firework goes off or a car backfires or something, people freak out and all of a sudden there's panic. So that's another story to talk about here when dealing with this terrorism that is becoming rampant in Europe. But apparently this guy runs in the train station, may or may not have had a bomb vest on, and multiple eyewitnesses report seeing at least one fire, possibly two, hearing multiple explosions going while there were gunshots. The gunshots are assumed to be those of the police officers that apprehended the suspect and took him down. So the real goal of this attack, the real details, I still think we will have to wait and find out. But of course, they had to wait to say terrorist attack. They didn't want to come out and say terrorist attack because, well, terrorist attacks have become synonymous with radical Islamic jihadism just because they happen so often now. Those are the terrorists. So one terrorist, if it truly is one radical Islamic jihadi, again, this is just part and parcel to being a radical Islamic terrorist trying to blow up a train station or a airport. That's part and parcel to being a radical Islamic terrorist, kind of like Mayor Khan says it's part and parcel to living in a big city to get run over with a car or to be a victim of a terrorist attack. It's funny, I didn't hear Mayor Khan say that after the man ran over people at the Finsbury Mosque